Today in this video, you all are going to see how to do VLOOKUPs or the vertical lookups, which is one of the most frequently used functions in Excel in an easiest way, right? So this video is going to help for all the beginners to Excel to understand VLOOKUP in an easiest way. Okay, come on, so let's get started. So I will get into this sheet or the sheet the sample data that I have put together, right? So this sheet has columns of data. So this has list of names, and against each of the name, what is their location, apartment, which floor they are in, house number, occupation, four-wheeler or two-wheeler, what is that they have, yes or no, right? So this is the data that I have and random sample data that I've put together, right? So for a moment, let's imagine all of this data is in an paper, right? It's written in an paper, and you're holding that paper and someone comes to you and asks you, can you tell me in which apartment does Vijay live, right? So what do? You start looking at the name column, right? So you start looking the name column vertically one by one, right? And you come to the place where it says Vijay and you stop there, and you start looking at the jumping to the next columns to see in which column the name of the apartment is, right? So you go to the next column, it has location information, so you skip that column, go to the next column. So this has apartment information, and it has the name of the apartment, which is Radiant. And so you tell to the person who is asking you that the name of the apartment is Radiant, and that is where Vijay lives in, right? So just imagine all of this being done in an Excel, and there is no need your for you to go and do this manually every time, and just a function in Excel is going to do this for you. Just imagine we have thousands of sets of data or names here, and against each of that name we have all of this information, so it will become difficult for you to go and search manually, right? So that's where this VLOOKUP function is going to help you, right? So now let me take you through the VLOOKUP function. So VLOOKUP function has four components in it. First one is the search key, the word that you're going to search, right? And the second one is you're going to define the table in which you want to go and look up or look for the word, right? So that is going to be the table. And the third one is going to be the column number, which you're going to tell Excel to go ahead and look for and take the data and give an output of that data. And the fourth one is you're going to say whether you want the exact match value or an approximate match value, right? So if you're going to say 0, it's going to give exactly what it has found and give it. And if you're going to say 1 here, it is going to take an nearest approximate value and give that value, right? So first of all, so you need to define your table, and the first column of your table should always have the data point you want to look for, right? So remember the table which you're going to select. In that table, the first column of the table should always have the data point. And the third one which you need to remember is always count the columns from left to right, starting from 1, 2, 3, and the column in which you want the data to be picked, so that number has to be keyed in the third component of the VLOOKUP function, right? So just so this is just an pictorial representation where, let's say I'm going to define, uh, you might have a question, why should I always start my table from column, the first column in the Excel, right? So my table might start from here as well. Yes, definitely it can. So in that case, this will become 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And the data that you're going to search, which you're going to enter in the first component of your VLOOKUP, that should be in this column. And your table would start from here and it will go on till the column H, which is it will start from column D and it will go on till H. And this is how your table would get defined for the VLOOKUP function. Okay, so now let's imagine, right? So this is the sample data, as I said, and I want to look for Vijay's information, or whatever the name that I'm going to enter here. The Excel should refer and tell me the name of the apartment, right? So I will go enter the VLOOKUP function, and what is that I want to search? I want to search whatever the name that is there in this cell, right? So I'm going to select this, hit on comma, and now I'm going to select the table, right? So here this name is there in the first column, right? So I'm going to select from column A till H. So column A to H is going to become my table. So this is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? So it has 8 columns, comma. So now what Excel is going to do, it's going to look up, vertically look for Vijay. It's going to stop here in this table, and now I need to tell Excel what it has to do. It has to go to the third column, right? So I'm going to enter 3 here because column 1, column 2, column 3 has the apartment information. So I'm going to say 3 here. So the moment it stops after finding Vijay, it goes to column 3, just 1, 2, 3, and it stops here, right? So now I'm going to say output the exact value that is there, right? So I'm going to enter 0 and the close bracket, hit on enter, right? So now I get the information, right? So let me try this for, let's say, Aditi, right? So Aditi is here and it gives me the apartment name. So that simple is how the vertical lookup is. Now let's make it little complicated, right? So I will cut and paste the information here. So okay, so you see I get an error here because it has changed, the table has changed, it becomes P to I, and when VLOOKUP starts looking for this Aditi information, it is not there in this column. That is in column B, right? So my table reference is going to be B to I, so the first column does not contain the name. So that's when it's showing this error. So I need to slightly rephrase or rewrite the VLOOKUP, right? So this time I'm going to look for the same name, right? I'm going to search for this name, but my table should start from column C and it can go on till column I, right? So my table is going to start from column C because this name information is available in this column. So always my table should start from C, right? So or this should become my first column of the table that I'm selecting, right? Now I'm going to say in which column this apartment information is available for this name. It is available in column 2 of my table, right? So in my table of C to I, this is going to be column 1 and this is going to be column 2. So I'm going to say column 2, comma, exact value, close the bracket, enter. Here you go. So now we have against this name, what is the apartment name? It's available here. Let's say I'm going to enter Vijay. It gives Radiant, right? So I think this small demo was very helpful for every one of you. Please share your comments in the comment section. If you have liked this video, please click on like, and if there is any feedback, please do share your feedback in the comment section, and please do subscribe to this channel. There will be a lot more videos that I'm going to put in on Excel, right? Thank you. Thanks everyone.